Folks, there are moments in American politics when you can feel history changing in real time, not in slow motion, not over decades, but in a single shocking breath. And this week, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't just witness a headline. We watched the political earth split like a fault line under our feet. We watched something that no strategist, no pollster, no late night host, no armchair commentator could have predicted. And if you weren't paying attention, if you blinked for even a second, you missed the political plot twist of the decade. We're now 346 days away from the 2026 midterms, and instead of steady campaigning, instead of business as usual, the American political universe is behaving like a pressure cooker with the lid blown clean off. Every week feels like the season finale of a show we didn't know we were starring in. The absurd has become routine. The extraordinary just another Wednesday. We are through the looking glass, folks. And this week, this week didn't just raise eyebrows, it snatched wigs, shattered expectations, and left the country staring at their televisions like, wait, what? Because two political figures from opposite planets, opposite moral universes, opposite value systems suddenly found themselves in the same national storyline. Not by choice, not by coincidence, but because America is entering a moment of political gravity, a realignment, and everything loose is being pulled into orbit. On one side, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, Georgia Congresswoman, MAGA megaphone, right-wing celebrity, one of Donald Trump's most devoted warriors. A woman whose political identity wasn't just shaped by Trump, it was fused to him. And on the other side, Zoran Mamdani, the progressive Democratic Socialist mayor-elect of New York City, a man whose political worldview is so far from Trump's that they might as well exist in different dimensions. If American politics is a football field, these two aren't on opposite teams, they're playing different sports. And yet somehow their stories collided this week like two planets crashing into each other. Let's start with Greene, because this one didn't just land, it detonated. For years, she hasn't just supported Donald Trump. She has defended him like a knight sworn to a king. Through scandals, impeachments, investigations, indictments, controversies, she never wavered. She fundraised for him. She campaigned for him. She absorbed the political shrapnel meant for him. Her loyalty wasn't rumored. It was trademarked. And then out of nowhere came the political thunderclap. Trump cut ties with her, publicly, brutally, and called her, wait for it, a traitor. Not a critic, not a disappointment, a traitor. That word doesn't come lightly in Trump world. That word is a nuclear weapon. And why? Reports say she offered mild criticism, tiny, polite policy disagreement, not betrayal, not abandonment, not ideological mutiny. But in a world where loyalty is currency, she apparently paid with pennies instead of gold, and Trump doesn't do pennies. And instead of crawling back, instead of apologizing, instead of pledging deeper loyalty, Greene did the unthinkable. She quit Congress, just like that. Effective January 5th, gone. Erased from the political battlefield she once dominated, and the video she released, folks, historians are going to study that thing. She didn't sound defeated. She sounded liberated. She didn't sound wounded. She sounded enraged. She said she had too much self-respect, too much dignity, too much love for her family and her district to endure a primary funded by the man she spent years defending. That's not a resignation statement. That's a political Dear John letter. She accused Trump of preparing to pour tens of millions into defeating her. She accused him of trying to destroy her. She accused him of valuing vengeance over victory, ego over party, domination over democracy. And then she said what many Republicans whisper privately but never dare say publicly. Why should she defend a man who would burn down her life without blinking? That sound you hear? That's every Republican in Congress checking the political exits. Because Greene wasn't just a Trump foot soldier. She was the loudest megaphone, the sharpest sword, the most visible face of MAGA loyalty. If she isn't safe, who is? And the timing, the timing is poetic. 346 days before the midterms, right when the Republican Party needs unity, right when Trump needs unquestioning loyalty. Instead, the House is collapsing inward. This wasn't a tremor. This was a structural failure. And here's the kicker. Greene hinted that Republicans expect to defend Trump against impeachment if they win the House. Impeachment, again, before the election even happens. Translation, Trump doesn't want a party. He wants a shield. And she decided she's done being armor. Now pause, because that alone would have been the biggest story of the week, the month, maybe the year. But then hours later, America was hit with plot twist number 2. Zoran Mamdani, progressive, democratic, socialist architect of policies Trump has mocked for years, walked into the White House and met with Donald Trump. Not over Zoom, not in separate wings, not out of obligation, face to face. And Trump didn't insult him. Trump didn't dismiss him. Trump didn't call him a radical left Marxist enemy of the people. No, he congratulated him. He praised him. He called him, wait for it, someone he hopes becomes a great mayor. And then in a sentence that could only exist in this upside down political universe, Trump declared, there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. Ladies and gentlemen, what? This is the same Trump whose political identity depends on division like a fish depends on water. The same Trump whose press secretary reportedly mocked Mamdani as a communist just a day earlier. The same Trump who built a movement on the idea that Democrats aren't opponents, they're existential threats. And suddenly, poof, no difference. You couldn't write this in Hollywood without being laughed out of the room. And Mamdani, calm, steady, grounded, handled it like someone who has played political chess before breakfast. He didn't take the bait. He didn't pretend differences don't exist. He didn't renounce his beliefs. Instead, he said, we focused on serving New Yorkers. Imagine that governance based on purpose instead of performance. The moment he was asked whether he still believes Trump behaves like a fascist, he didn't fold. He didn't melt. He didn't panic. He let the question breathe and then pivoted to shared responsibility. That's called emotional discipline. That's called political maturity. And it made the contrast even sharper. Because here's the real story. A progressive Democrat and Donald Trump managed to speak like adults, while Trump and one of his most loyal Republicans went nuclear. This week didn't reveal two political stories. It revealed one political truth. The MAGA movement isn't cracking, it's fracturing. Green's resignation isn't an exit, it's a warning flare. Republicans aren't just running against Democrats anymore, they're running from each other. Meanwhile, Democrats, even the most progressive among them, are showing Americans what functional political dialogue can look like. And that, folks, is why this moment matters. Because underneath the drama, the chaos, the viral sound bites, the exploding headlines, lies a question that will shape the next decade of American life. Is loyalty to one man stronger than loyalty to a nation? Because political movements built on fear, purity tests, and obedience eventually devour their own. History tells us that loudly, and this week, we watched it happen in real time. This isn't the end of anything. This is the beginning of something nobody planned for, a political realignment, a power vacuum, a test of courage or cowardice, a referendum on who America belongs to, one man or 330 million people. So buckle up, folks, because if this week was Act 1, Act 2 is going to shake the ground. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, stay engaged, and for the love of democracy, stay tuned. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.